was a short swim, but the rest of the day is anything but short, so no time to waste. So today I have 5-hour ride and 20-minute run straight afterwards, which wouldn't be a big deal if it wasn't for two things. One, sun going down at 4, and second thing, pool not opening before 8. One thing you always need to consider at this time of the year is the weather forecast. It dictates the route that I will take, and it also dictates how much clothes I need to take. So let's check it out. So it looks like it's going to rain, but just a little bit. And it's relatively warm, and there is pretty strong southerly wind. However, good thing is that these days there are so many weather forecast sites, so if you don't like what you see, you can always look at the other site. Although this time they all call for a little bit of rain, so it looks like I'm going to get wet. But it's not very cold, so I think I will ride around Biokovo mountain. It's been a while since I rode that. This time of the year I spend more time deciding what to wear and getting it on than actually riding. So sometimes I feel like a woman. For today I took winter tights, then I have base layer, I have long sleeve cycling jersey, and at the top I have thin jacket that's windproof and waterproof. I have short gloves and these light overshoes. Today I'm taking my road bike for a couple of reasons. First is variety. I ride most of the sessions on time trial bike, and since I don't have any intervals today, it's just an easy ride, I will take this one. The second reason is that the saddles are different. I like both saddles, I find them comfortable, but after a while they give you some sore spots. But since they are different, the sore spots are not at the same place, so sometimes I like to mix it up a little bit. And the third reason is that this bike doesn't have power meter. I like to see my numbers, but sometimes I don't like to see any numbers, and today is one of those days. I'm approaching the highest point of today's ride, which sits at around 700 meters above sea level. And I have good news and bad news. Well, before the ride I was sure I dressed up too warm for the conditions, but that was not the case. So that's the good news, and the bad news is related to good news. Take a look at this. It's, according to my Garmin, it's 0.5 degrees now. I hope it won't start to snow. That would be a little bit tricky. Normally this wind from southeast brings warmer weather to the mountains. I don't know why it's not the case this time. I survived. So I survived that downhill, but the hands are a little bit numb. I should have taken proper gloves, but it is what it is now. So the The worst part is over, but I have still one more climb to go. It peaks at 600 meters, so I hope it won't be worse than the one I just went by. This spring here is a lifesaver during summer months. Unlike today, in summer this area is very hot and dry, and it's almost deserted, no one lives here. Well, it was never very populated, but now no one lives here, I think. So from Zagvozd to Makarska it's like 50-60 k. You don't have any shop or gas station where you could refill your water bottles. So this spring comes in handy. So that's it, 120k and now 20-minute run. I hate these brick runs because once I get home it's hard to go out again. So it's the best if I just switch off my mind, go out, and once I'm out it's all good again. So finally done with the training for today. As you probably saw, I take my easy rides seriously. I take them really easy. I mentioned that I don't like to have power meter on easy rides, and well, I like my power meter. I think it helps me a lot, but not so much on easy ride. The thing is, I get obsessed with numbers. So if for example after 2 hours I see that I'm averaging 185 watts, I will probably try to push that to 190 or 200 by the end of the ride, and in that way the ride will end up harder than it would be without power meter. So today my average heart rate was 109, and to put that into perspective, my maximum heart rate on the bike is 196. And sometimes I manage to do these easy rides with average heart rate under 100. I see a lot of other people making mistakes of taking easy rides too hard, and then they cannot push very hard once the hard ride arrives because they are too tired. So they train in a gray zone. Easy rides are towards medium, and hard rides then are also towards medium because they are too tired to push more. So when talking about easy ride intensity, we also need to look at the big picture. I'm now in a really intense bike training block. That's the most intense training block I've ever done. So first of all, I'm tired, and second thing is, if I push too hard on easy rides, then my hard ride would suffer. And of course, if I keep pushing day by day, I would eventually have to take a rest day, which would mess up the consistency in training, and that's the most important thing when training for endurance sport. So how easy is easy? Well, I would probably ride these easy rides a little bit harder if I was training only 3 times per week. I would have more energy and I would have enough time to recover for the hard session. If you are not sure how hard you should ride, it's always better to take it a little bit easier than a little bit harder. You will probably notice the effect once the proper session arrives. So, I hope this helps. There will be more tips. Make sure to subscribe. If you have any suggestions, let me know. And see you next time. Bye bye.